Look at you. Notebooks full of ideas, tabs upon tabs open, 3 half-built projects routing in your Google Drive, a vision board you made in January that you haven't looked at since February. You call yourself ambitious, and honestly, I believe you. That's not the problem. The problem is you've been about to make it for 2 years now, and nothing has landed. And deep down in that quiet place you avoid at night, you're starting to wonder if you're the problem. Let me tell you something brutal. You are, but not in the way you think. You're not failing because you're lazy. Lazy people don't feel this kind of pain. You're failing because you are addicted to the feeling of starting. The new idea, the new plan, the new system. It feels like momentum. It feels like progress, but it's not. It's motion, and motion without direction is just spinning. Here's what's actually happening. Every time something doesn't work immediately, you don't double down. You pivot. You rebrand. You tell yourself the market wasn't ready, the timing was off, the offer wasn't right. And maybe sometimes that's true, but mostly you just got scared. Scared that if you actually committed, fully committed, and it still failed, then you'd have no excuse left. Right now, the excuse is the strategy, or the niche, or the algorithm. But if you go all in and it still doesn't work, then the excuse becomes you, and that terrifies you more than failure ever could. So you stay busy, productively busy, research, planning, consuming content about people who did the thing you want to do. You call it learning. I call it hiding in plain sight. You know what the people who made it did differently? Not much, honestly. They weren't smarter. They weren't more talented. They didn't have a secret. They just picked one thing and stayed with it longer than felt comfortable, longer than felt rational, long past the point where most people quit and call it pivoting. They got boring on purpose. They stopped chasing the next shiny framework and got obsessive about one problem for one specific person, and they showed up for it every single day, even when it felt pointless, especially when it felt pointless. Because here's the truth nobody puts in a motivational post. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not filled with better ideas. You already have enough ideas. The gap is filled with uncomfortable, unglamorous, repetitive execution on the thing you already know you should be doing. You know what that thing is. You've known for a while. You just keep waiting until the conditions are perfect, until you feel ready, until you have more time, more money, more clarity, more confidence. But that moment is never coming. Readiness is not a feeling you wait for. It's a decision you make. So here is what I want you to do. Not tomorrow. Not after you finish this audio, right now, in the next 10 minutes. Write down the one thing, not 5 things, not a mind map, one thing. The thing that if it actually worked would change everything for you. The thing you keep coming back to even when you try to abandon it. Then ask yourself honestly, have you actually given it a real shot? Not a weekend, not a soft launch with one Instagram post. A real, consistent, embarrassingly committed shot over at least 6 months. If the answer is no, you don't have a strategy problem. You have a commitment problem. And the fix isn't another podcast. It isn't another course. It isn't a new productivity system. The fix is deciding today that you are done being the person who almost did the thing and becoming the person who is doing it. Badly at first, slowly, quietly, without applause. Because ambition without execution is just a very elaborate way of feeling special while standing still. You have what it takes. You've always had it. Now stop performing ambition and start practicing it. That's it. Go.